So, a lot of people wanted me to see this movie. Heck, I wanted me to see this movie. Guys, I finally saw Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up, starring Porky and Daffy. This movie was awesome. This movie was amazing. I would rate it maybe about either an 8 out of 10 or like a 4 out of 5. Very, very good movie. This is literally, I really haven't seen a movie like this in 20 years. Or, well, maybe not 20, well, maybe 20 years. Like, maybe 15 years, 10, 15 years, 20 years, something like that, somewhere in that time frame. And what I mean by that is The Day the Earth Stood Still, or I'm sorry, The Day the Earth Blew Up is a very simple film. It's a film with a very simple plot. And let me tell you why that's a good thing. The film has got a very simple plot. It's Alien is trying to take over the world using this mind-numbing gum, and and it's up to Porky and Daffy to save the day. That's the plot. So because that's the plot, and the plot is that that small or that simple, you're able to do, as a writer, like as a writing team, you're able to have so much fun and just include so many things within that plot. And it does a great job of that. Like, this is so funny. Like, if you guys remember a lot of old school Looney Tunes, this is that style of humor. It's just that style of humor. Now, I will admit, there were a couple of times where, and this is not a bad thing, but just for my own personal taste of Looney Tunes, right? Where they do a couple of joke hand-holding, which is fine, and I know why they do it. For example, there's a joke in the beginning where they're painting the side of the sidewalk because they're cleaning their house, and I thought this was a funny scene. But they're painting the side of the roads, and Porky says to Daffy, make sure there's no cracks on the side of the road. And the camera zooms out, and you see Daffy, his pants, even though he's a duck, he doesn't really have pants, but his pants, his fur, is down, showing his butt crack. And I thought that was so funny. And they could have just cut it and left it there, with Porky turning around noticing, and then that was the joke. But they had to throw in an extra, Daffy, I said no cracks on the road. Like, he had to explain the joke. Again, like, that's fine, and I know why they do it. And again, it's not like it hurt the joke at all. It just, for me, this is my own personal, thing about it. I just wish that they, didn't do the joke hand-holding a lot, because the OG Looney Tunes didn't really do that. It was just, that's the joke. And but again, it doesn't really hurt the joke. I know why they do it. A lot of people these days kind of need that extra hand-holding. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big problem. I really enjoyed Porky and Petunia's relationship and Porky and Daffy's relationship. What's interesting about that is Porky is kind of, in a way, the central character here. Because the movie stars Porky, Daffy, and Petunia. Daffy doesn't really have a relationship with Petunia. And by relationship, I don't mean relationship. I mean, because they're a group of three, it's usually a triad. This person connects to this person, this person connects to this person, this person connects to this person, and so on and so forth. It's normally, throughout the movie, it's usually Porky in the middle. And then Daffy and Petunia are at his sides. So Porky in this is kind of the lead, in that aspect of he has the main attention or main connection between both of the other stars of the film. And I love him and Petunia's relationship. I love how they both stutter. I love how they both have a lot of similarities while also having a lot of differences. I think Petunia is a lot more confident than Porky is, while Porky is a bit more anxious and shy. I loved the scene where they left Daffy behind to go venture out and start attacking some of the creatures. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was a really great chemistry scene for the both of them. But likewise, I think that what happened afterwards, following up that scene, with for those who saw it, what happened with Daffy, and the repercussions of that, and getting to see Porky and Daffy kind of have that happen to them, and etc. Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see that happen. And their relationship and how their relationship would grow and whatever and whatnot. The villain of the movie was pretty good. Villain was I mean, it was nothing crazy. I mean, it was, here, let me say this. It was a Looney Tunes villain, right? The Looney Tunes villains are never really there to be like great villains. They're just kind of there to be a threat that's the main characters, which are the Looney Tunes, have to face off against, right? That's just always been the case with Looney Tunes villains. The villain is never the reason you're going to go see the movie. The villain is never I don't know. I'm at a loss for words for the right verbiage that I should use here. But the villain, again, I'm not saying that the villain is bad, but the villain is serviceable. I'll say that. Villain's serviceable. Villain has some funny moments as well. He's got a lackey, which he's in the trailer, and he's throughout most of the film. But the lackey is very funny too, despite having like almost no lines, and you'll get what I mean if you see the film. But again, villain is serviceable, and that's fine. Again, that's all Looney Tunes villains, in my opinion. They're there so that the main characters can do their thing. The animation was crazy. Like, yes, it looks good. Like, obviously it looks good. It's a theatrically released 2D film. And yes, it had a big budget and everything. I was shocked at, like, there were times where I swore it was 60 FPS. Which I don't know if movie theaters could even do that, which maybe they can. But it was like, it looked really good. There were so many moments, especially, there's a lot of fire sequences in this. The fire looks incredible. The motions on the Looney Tunes, I'm talking like there's not a frame missed. You know what I mean? Like they are moving like I'm moving now. Like they are very swift. Like there's moments where they'll do like a superhero landing, and you'll see their whole body stand up and flip out. Like the animation is crazy good. That shocked me. Again, I've seen a lot of theatrically released films, and they all look good. Like that's the point of a theatrically released film. But again, it's like they didn't miss a frame. Like they move every centimeter of their body that they can. It's so fluid. The animation in this looks great. There were some moments at the beginning that made me really laugh. Like the stuff with Farmer Jim is so funny. It's so funny. I think Farmer Jim, the scenes with Farmer Jim are probably the funniest in the whole movie. You guys, one of my favorite things about Looney Tunes is the humor that's just so stupid, that's just so dumb, it barely makes any sense, but that's why it's funny. There's a scene where Farmer Jim is like leaving, because like he's like leaving the area for whatever reason. I don't want to get into super spoilers, but there's gonna be slight spoilers here throughout because it's hard to talk about this without. But there's a scene where he's leaving, and his character model, like his character animation for leaving, is stiff. He's literally like this, and it's like his character model is like hopping away. It's like they just like did this animation, but then like it cuts to like him like to turn around to talk to them, and it's like the most fluid animation you've ever seen ever, where he's like, it's like out of an anime where he's like his face is super animated, and he's like, you can see every like cheek movement when he turns around, and when his face gets stationary, it's like his hair, his whole face and body is moving. It was so funny that his animation kept changing. Like he would go, all right, I'm leaving, and he's just like stick figure, getting hopped away, and then it cuts and it's zoomed in on his face, and he's some of the best animation you've ever seen. So funny. The stuff with him was so funny. It again is that's my favorite things when it comes to Looney Tunes cartoons. Is so stupid, so dumb, so like that's crazy that it makes you laugh. And that's what I've always loved about Looney Tunes. That's always been my favorite thing about Looney Tunes is the comedy has been that type of comedy, which is a good type of comedy. I'm not saying it's stupid. I'm saying that it's that type of comedy. You guys know what I mean? That it's like, oh, that's your friend ever say something to you that's like a joke and you're like, oh, that's so dumb, but you laugh. That's Looney Tunes. That's always been Looney Tunes to me, and that's why I love it. It's comedy that's so outlandish and it's so kind of stupid that it's so funny. And that was the movie. That was the movie because that's Looney Tunes as a whole. So I think this movie did a great job of capturing Looney Tunes. There's even a scene towards the end. It's in the trailer, so I can talk about it. But it's where there, you know how there's that one. There's a couple of those famous Looney Tunes jokes where like it's an audience member that'll get up and be like, "This is ridiculous," and he leaves. That happens in the movie. It also happens in the trailer. So again, it's in there. But that happens in the movie. So it's really cool to see how much the writers really tried to get down the Looney Tunes spirit. And Daffy is OG Daffy. The whoa, 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 whoa. That kind of Daffy from the old Looney Tunes shorts from like the 40s, right? Maybe even earlier than that, like 30s. Trying to think of what else to say about this. Animation, the villains, the trio, their relationship. The writing was great. Like I said, the writing was great. Them teaming up kind of at the end was really great too. Loved that. I loved how the friendship between Daffy and Porky resolved itself the same way they had problems. And you guys who saw the movie know what I'm talking about. I thought that was expertly done and written. I thought that was great. Guys, it's a short movie. It's only an hour and 40 minutes. My showtime was at 8 o'clock, and the movie was done by 9:42, 9:45, something like that. It's like an hour and a half movie. Guys, go see it. Go see it. You guys know I had to do my due diligence because this movie's not doing too well. Well, it's doing well enough, but considering it didn't have, it's doing very well considering it didn't have any marketing, didn't have any advertising. But guys, we need to go see this movie. We need to show this movie support. We need to let Warner Brothers know that this is the type of content we want to see. And yeah, we have to do it. Guys, please go see this movie. Check it out. Thanks so much for the team that worked on this movie. You guys did a fantastic job if you're watching this. And guys, what did you think of Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up? Comment down below. Let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks so much to Matt Ponton, Advanced Hell, Ryan Wilkins, and Kame Sennin for all becoming members. If you would also like to become a member, on my channel there exists multiple different tier levels, and you can pick out which one is best for you.